never stop reading the Bible. Our focus is going to be on chapters 41 and 42, which give us this unbelievably precise walkthrough of the whole sacred space. And by digging into these details, we're not just going to see what this temple looked like, but what it really, truly meant. Okay, first things first. Let's imagine we're stepping inside the main temple building. Chapter 41 is our guide, and it's taking us right into the heart of the sanctuary, a space that is all about divine order and purpose. You know, the first thing that just jumps off the page is the sheer level of detail. The vision lays out these meticulous, super specific measurements for every single part of the sanctuary. This wasn't some fuzzy dream. It was a blueprint from God designed to show something massive and perfectly ordered. And it wasn't just about the dimensions, not at all. It was also about beauty and deep meaning. The inside walls, they were covered in these intricate carvings and amazing artistry. The whole place was just filled with powerful symbols. Every single surface was designed to scream holiness. Now, at the very core of the sanctuary was the Holy of Holies. And listen, this wasn't just another room. This was the most sacred place you could possibly imagine, and it was intentionally sealed off from everything else. Why? To signify the concentrated, awesome presence of God Himself. So that brings us to the big question. Why all the crazy detail? Why this overwhelming vision of perfection? Well, the point wasn't just architectural. It was actually a really powerful message meant to reteach the very idea of sacredness to the people of Israel, who had kind of lost their way. It was a call to come back to holiness. Okay, let's continue our tour. We're going to step out of that main temple building now and into the courtyards that surround it. This is where chapter 42 tells us about a whole series of special rooms that were designed just for the priests. Now, these weren't just closets. They were these highly functional, multi-purpose spaces that were absolutely essential for the temple to even operate. They were a place for the priests to rest, a special area to change into their sacred garments, and a super secure storeroom for all the holy offerings. And the vision is really specific about where they were. These vital chambers were built in both the northern and the southern courts of the temple complex, so they were symmetrically placed and totally integral to the daily life and rituals of the whole sanctuary. All right, for our final view, let's kind of zoom out and look at the entire temple complex as a whole, because the vision ends with one last massive measurement that really pulls back the curtain on the overarching purpose of the entire design. And this brings us to the ultimate theme here. There was this huge, four-sided wall that went around the entire temple area, and it had one crystal-clear job: to create a physical boundary that you could not miss. Inside the wall was the holy. Outside the wall was the common, the everyday. It was a powerful, visible line between the sacred and the profane. You know, it's definitely not an accident that the vision ends right here, with the measurement of this massive perimeter. This one last detail just hammers home the central idea. This visionary temple was a protected, consecrated space, totally set apart from the rest of the world, to keep its holiness intact. And that leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about, doesn't it? This ancient vision used architecture to define what was sacred. So how do we use physical spaces and boundaries, maybe in our churches, in our communities, or even in our own lives, to shape our own sense of the sacred today? Thanks so much for joining us to explore Ezekiel's amazing visionary temple. This was a production of the Center Studio.